Miguel, how are you doing today?
Sí. Nah.
So,
No, I'm doing
background on that.
Yeah.
We were all speaking Spanish. Well, my wife was speaking Spanish with them before the show today. And
Hola, me llamo Haley Andrews.
yes, I am the whitest person in the room, apparently. But I'm okay with that because I know that I don't speak Spanish. So I'm completely okay with that. But Miguel,
Yeah.
back to you, brother.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Hey, I am doing fantastic. I'm just feeling grateful right now because I'm actually on the other side of the camera today,
Yeah.
which is kind of rare because we love doing podcasts, and that's why we started this business. Honestly, we just wanted to find a place for us to do our own podcast. But now we're doing so much for other people to run the business that we actually don't have too much time to actually have our own podcast.
But we're super glad that you were willing and able to be on this side of the camera.
Because it was actually a last minute thing. You weren't expected to be here when you got here today.
I
You didn't really
do
know.
my hair or anything.
Well, you knew what to wear.
Yeah, he
Yes,
wore the
that matters.
he wore the
Yeah.
Chastain Ford hat. So
That's
There you
not
go.
what I
you know,
meant.
he knew what to do. But
That's not what I meant.
But man, I appreciate you stepping in and kind of filling in. But today, what we kind of want to talk about is we want to talk about podcasting, and we want to talk about why it is important for businesses, why it's a great creative outlet for
What it can do for your business.
for why I mean, and I think Haley, you'll be able to chime in a little bit on this about how it's kind of like a low pressure situation for video content.
Sure.
Definitely.
It is.
So
Definitely.
I'll let you start. Just give me a little bit of a background on how Panorama Brand came to be and tell our audience a little bit more about what you guys do here.
Yeah, so basically we are a full production studio. My background is in video production, kind of like yourself as well.
Yep.
And I was doing a lot of commercial work for different brands and stuff like that. But I see that, like for me, I love trends. I'm a trend guy.
Ooh, me
I
too.
see how trends, like, you know, some
See, I'm
people,
not. I'm not the
we see
trendy
how
person.
trends are just like popping and
I
showing
love
and
it.
starting. And so we just want to like jump on that ship, like with AI, everything's shifting. And if you're not using AI for your business, then you're staying behind.
Right.
That's another trend that's going on. But going back to what I was saying, I think podcast is so important because back in the day, I feel like, you know, we come from the radio, which I believe the radio is kind of dead in a way.
Right.
When it comes to like advertisement and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah, for sure.
I've talked to other like business owners who used to put a lot of money, maybe this company that I work with, maybe $100,000 a week.
Holy
they used to
moly.
do this maybe 4 years ago.
Wow.
Now it's dead. They maybe spend $2,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
I think my original like vision of podcasts was like only rich people or like famous people did them. But like as social media becomes more, you know, important and more like
It's
on
more just-
trend,
yeah.
I think podcasts are becoming a voice for like
Yeah.
just the regular people like you and me, and you know, you guys get to produce that.
Exactly. And the other thing that I think is fascinating is that brands, whether it's a corporation, a big corporation, or just like a personal brand, people are noticing that they need to be able to connect to their audience somehow. And big brands, they need to, they don't want to be behind those big desks and they just kind of like just try to do all this marketing on TV or
Right.
like doing
Yep.
these ads on the Super Bowl and stuff like that. They actually want to be in front of people, actually with their customers. They want to connect. And I think podcast is an amazing way to connect with your audience because think about it, like if you're doing podcasts and somebody's listening to your podcast and they're watching you maybe, I don't know, 10 hours a week or a month or whatever, eventually if they're listening or watching you 10 hours a week, then you're building a connection with your audience.
Yep. Sure.
And they eventually are going to buy something from you
Yes.
if they like you. You know, not everybody's going to want to, but it's just a more intimate, like you were talking
Yeah.
about, a way of reaching your audience and connecting with them, you know?